Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sipping with Somebody. I'm your host Lexi, and we are doing it Gabby style today. I just recently saw the analytics from my last post that I did with natural lighting, and it is performing like 4 times better than the ones in my basement. So we're gonna do it this way today. So today's episode is going to be really awkward because people are walking by my window, and I pray they can't see me because this is very cringy if you're gonna look through the window. But it's going on April Fool's, and I reached out to the Somebody Society community and said, "Tell me the jokes you've been a part of." Rightfully so, no one replied. So I thought it'd be the best time to tell you jokes from my life, not necessarily pranks I've pulled, but more of things that is kind of like a life joke. So we actually have a funny story about April Fool's Day in my family, which I'll get to in a second. We don't have a drink sponsor, so I had to grab Boss Molly again because they have become like one of my favorite bourbons. Like I'm learning to love bourbon. This one is a great one. And I made my own little concoction. I like to think of myself as a novice mixologist. And I made a Blackberry Bourbon lemon basil cocktail. I can have the recipe. I don't remember it off the top of my head. And Connor's not here to judge me for making a little mad science experiment and doing like random numbers and writing it down and make sure it tastes good. Normally he says, follow recipe. And I said, no, I want to do my own thing. And I did. And it tastes absolutely fire. Blackberry bourbon, perfect for the springtime. So back to April Fool's. My family has a fun April Fool's joke because I'm the April Fool's joke. So when my mom was pregnant, she went to the doctors on April Fool's Day, and they told her that she was having twins. At first, she thought it was a joke, but like for a hot second, because she's like, these people are professionals, they're not going to joke about this. My grandma took, I think, a few days, if not over a week, if not more, to be convinced. So we are kind of the joke of the family of being twins because surprise, April Fool's Day, you learned something kind of crazy. Because of that day, we actually love this little holiday just because it's like we don't really do pranks too much, but because of this, we were like, you know what? Let's just roll with it. So I decided to do 28 jokes about my life because this will be the 28th year. I'm turning 28. So 28 jokes for 28 years of the big joke of my family's life, me. So these are all like very laughable now. But they're kind of like a little hurtful, like reading them back, just because I was like, damn, like I didn't like think about this much when it happened. And I was kind of like, not super fun, but some of them are like really like just like plain. I think they're funny. So let's get to it, shall we? 28 jokes about my life because why not? It's April Fool's Day. Happy April Fool's Day. The first one, got to go to my mom, finding out she was having twins. Who goes to the doctor on April Fool's Day, for starters? And then who is just like, okay, like, I'm just going to believe the doctors. Like, I would never, I'd be like, you're lying to me. You are lying to me. Anyway, it's kind of hard to read these with the sunglasses on, but Gabby does it, so we're going to do it. Shout out, Gabby. Joke number 2, being a twin. I love my sister dearly, but with all the jokes and all the comments about being twins and also just like the random like unspoken rules about being twins, like everything has to be fair or even, or like someone calls you the wrong name, but oh, like I didn't know it was you, and I'm like, I don't know. Also, we don't even know if we're identical or fraternal, so that's also a joke in itself. Whenever my mom would say we have food at home, as an adult, I totally understand this, but as a kid, this was like the ultimate joke. I'm like, haha, you're funny. We had an ingredient household. Love you, mom, but we had like applesauce and peanut butter. We had peanut butter jelly all the time. Peanut butter jelly slaps though. But okay, this one is where we're going to get juicy. 4th one, my junior prom. So I did not have a boyfriend for junior prom. And so my sister, she did. So my sister's boyfriend was like, oh, just invite one of my friends. He doesn't go to our school. I said, okay, cool, great. It'll be like a big like friend group kind of thing because like, of course I have to go with my sister. Another thing about being twins, we had to do everything together. I went with kind of her and his friend group, and then I invited him. So when I asked him, he was like, yeah, sure, totally. Like, knew we were going as friends, right? I knew it, he knew it, whatever. Fast forward, between the time I asked him and prom, he got a girlfriend. Wasn't me. I was like, that's totally fine. I said, you don't have to come. You don't have to come with me. I totally get it. It's awkward. And he was like, no, I'll go with you. Like, it's not like it's like romantic anyway, like friends, whatever. It was fine. It's, but kind of like looking back on it, it was like very awkward to be like, okay, like I'm at prom and like we're not even taking pictures, we're not dancing, like at least like some fun prom stuff. But he's a nice guy. Senior prom is the fifth joke. Still no boyfriend. So I asked this guy, who thought he had a crush on me. And so I asked him and he said yes. And so I was like, sweet, like maybe we'll like go out and I'll finally have a boyfriend. Cause I had like one boyfriend in ninth grade for like a month. Um, Fast forward senior year, no boyfriend. I was like, maybe this will be the time. Guess who got another girlfriend? And no, it wasn't me. This girl went to our school. And so I was like, look, you do not have to go with me. Like, you can go with her because you're dating. Like, I will go alone, ask somebody else, whatever. He declined. I was like, okay, like, you have an out. Like, at least let me know by this time. But no, he went with me and he went with her. And then her date wanted to go with me. I have no idea what happened, but if you want another story time, I'm trying to make this one quick. That that was the ultimate joke. It was shout out senior prom. Birthday kayaking. So in college, I finally got that boyfriend for maybe like a few months, but I had him for a little bit. And I wanted to spend my birthday with him, as one normally does with a boyfriend. So we decided to go kayaking, and he, I have very weak arms. He went kayaking, or we both went kayaking, but he was like 20 yards ahead of me the entire time, and the water was filled with alligators. So that was scary and lonely. I was friends with this group of girls who lived down the street from me in college. And so we were going to walk to the football game together. Walk to the stadium, don't have to park, whatever. So I was like, hey, let me know when you guys are going to go and I will like meet you, because their house was like on the way, right? So I'm waiting and waiting, and I was like in an apartment complex. So I was like, let me know when you start walking so I can meet you at the front of the complex, because just, like smart, work smart, not hard, right? So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like over an hour, and I'm like, these girls are just taking a while to get ready, no big deal. Finally get a call, think they're on their way. They're in the stadium already. So I had to walk all the way to the stadium by myself. And it was a long walk. And it was really crowded. So it was really lonely. Also in college, some friends invited me to their church. And I was like, hey, I don't have a car, because my sister and I shared a car, twins. Which it actually honestly like worked out for the best. Like, there was a few times, but I was like, hey, can I have a ride? So they were picking up other people, and like we all lived close. It's college. So they're like, yeah, sure. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And they finally pick me up, and the car's like oddly quiet, weird. So I was like, okay, like kind of like trying to brush it off. And then all of a sudden one girl goes, yeah, we totally got all the way there and then forgot about you. That was great. Yet another college story, similar premise. We were going to a tailgate at my friend's house, and I was like, again, without a car, and I was like, hey, can somebody on their way to campus, I lived really close, swing by, pick me up? This one guy was like, yeah, sure, no problem, I'll get there. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Eventually I get the Snapchat, right? And it's like the party, and then the caption's like, where are you? Guess who sent me that Snapchat? Planning my own 21st birthday party. I have a summer birthday, so my birthday being in the summer, not a lot of kids were at like summer semester or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm really excited. All I want to do is like finally like legally order a drink or whatever. I wasn't much of a drinker in college, whatever. But I was like, I'm gonna finally do this and whatever. The people who came with me didn't order a drink at all. So I just like drank my glass of wine alone. And yeah, I got wine. And I wrote, typing these out, these people probably didn't like me. So it was at my birthday party from the one above, and a bunch of people were like in the kitchen, like talking quietly, whispering kind of stuff. And so I like come up and I'm like, hey, like what's going on? Whatever. And they're like, oh, we're going to the lake tomorrow. And I was like, oh, cool. Like that sounds fun. And then just kind of like stare at me and then like keep planning it. And I'm like, okay, like I don't know if that was my invite or if like I'm like normally people are like, oh, you should come, So this might have been bad of me, but I invited myself. So I asked my friend if I could go, and they're like, sure. I should have just stayed home. I'm proud of myself for asking, but also like if that's bad of me for like inviting myself to something, so be it. I'll take responsibility. But like at least have the decency not to plan it at my birthday party and not invite the birthday girl. Anyway, I don't know. So I graduated in 3 years because when you go to college, you normally say like, "What's your name? Where are you from? And what year are you?" So I was like, "Oh, like I'm like junior, senior, or whatever." So it's like a lot of people in our friend group were graduating that semester. And so after the graduation ceremony, all the people like got together at the like outside area. And this one guy like looks me up and down, wearing my cap and gown, and so seriously asks, "Did you just graduate, sir?" Um, Pull out sofas. I am almost 6 feet tall. In what world is pull out sofas considered like sleeping for adults? Especially when like in the Airbnb or in the hotel it says like sleeps four and there's like a king bed and then a pull out. I mean, maybe the king bed can sleep like three, but two people are not sleeping on the pull out couch. I'm not sleeping on that pull out couch. I'm too big for that. Dairy, everyone lied to us in the 90s about saying dairy was good for you because it's not. My tummy hates dairy. This one's really funny, not being in my fifth grade yearbook. I was not in my fifth grade yearbook because of another twin problem. The editor, who's like some like PTA person, um, did not put me in there because she just thought my sister was me. So my sister's all over the yearbook and I'm not in it at all. Given I totally understand, I don't blame her at all. I just think, like, look back, it's funny. And now as a fifth grader, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm devastated. I'm not in my fifth grade yearbook. Bella's all in it. Now I'm like, two twins, two blonde haired girl with glasses. Yeah, they look exactly alike. My fastest mile. So I ran track. I'm gonna try to drink this. It looks like a lot because it's got a big ice cube in it. So I ran track in high school and we would have some like really, really big meets and then some like small meets like right down the road. So we were at a small meet and I was like ranked as like the fastest girl. So I was like, okay, like I'm feeling like really confident. I ran so well that race. I lapped everybody else, came in first. The guy doing the timer didn't know that I was done. And so he didn't clock my time. And he like yelled at me. He's like, "Why do you stop running?" And I was like, "I ran my 4 laps. I'm done." My dad did though, and that was my fastest mile ever. To this day, my fastest mile. And it's not officially recorded anywhere. So that's kind of annoying. Okay, another track story. So I ran the 800 meters also. I ran the 800, the 4x8 mile, 2 mile. 800 meters, if you know anything about track, you just run the first mile as fast as you can, and then you run the second, or you run the first lap as fast as you can, you run the second lap as fast as you can. So we were almost done sprinting at the end, and like it was a tight race. Like everyone was about the same speed. So some people's feet got caught up. People fell, me included. No big deal. Just ran to the finish line. Big fall, like kind of limping. No big deal. My coach did not see what happened. Totally yelled at me for coming in last, or like last with like the 4 other girls that fell or whatever. I'm like, so I yelled it back at him. That's another story for another time. But I yelled at him and then I left because I was like, there's no reason you shouldn't be watching when there's one race going on at a time and you're on the field. I'm still salty about this one. Another running thing that I thought was totally unfair was all the times where the boys could run without shirts on and the girls couldn't run with just sports bras in the middle of the southern summer heat. That was ridiculous. I thought that was so crazy. I was a camp counselor one summer and I was also a lifeguard. And so camp counselors don't pay a lot, which like you're getting room and board for free. And also it's like a camp job. No big deal. But as a lifeguard, I got an extra $300. At the end of camp, which is when you got your check, when you got paid, my check was not the same price as everyone else's who was also a lifeguard. And so I asked them about it. They just didn't do anything. Like they said I was wrong. And I'm like, I showed them my friends who's also a lifeguard. They're the same amount of time as me. Still never got my money. Given it's $300 like forever ago. But another camp story, but as a kid, we went to a performing arts camp because I was a little psycho. And it was literally just a singing camp for 8 hours straight for a week. And we sat in the mess hall and sang, like in the summer. Like I wanted to be outside playing. Anyway. Another prom story, they accidentally sent us a prom party bus that was too small for our group. So we were like squished in there. Everyone with boyfriends was like, sitting on their boyfriend's lap. Me, no boyfriend. At least I got some more space. I can think about it that way. Why do we have tall person jokes and then like no other jokes? Like, why are those okay? But like, just leave everyone alone. Like, let them be their own height. Like, this is not my fault. I love being tall, but I'm not gonna make fun of someone for being tall, short, whatever. Let the heights be. Okay, this one this one's really funny now that I think about it, but it was a horrible time when it happened. I have no coordination, and you know, at the hibachi restaurants when they like throw things at you to catch, gave it my best shot. He threw the shrimp in the air, hit me in the eye. Don't know what happened, but I had some kind of like eye infection for like all of ninth grade and had to wear my glasses. So as a ninth grader wearing like thick glasses, it was a nightmare. Another high school thing, we had something called the Freshman Academy, and it was a building just for freshmen, and it was ridiculous. They played classical music all the time, just over the loudspeakers. The boys and the girls were like separated by lockers because, like, God forbid, like I accidentally talk to a boy when I'm like getting my psychology textbook. And then there was like upstairs and downstairs. So like one staircase you had to go up and one staircase you had to go down, even if you're running late to class. And you would get like ripped a new one if you went up the wrong one. The backwards shirts, I didn't understand that graphics were on the back of the shirt with like a little pocket of a graphic on the front. Didn't understand that in middle school, so I wore all my shirts for summer backwards because I thought that the big graphic went in the front. One time my sister broke her arm by falling off a stool, and to this day I still get blamed for being the one to push her when I pray and promise that it was not me. It wasn't me. She knows it's not me. Teaching physics. So went to college and then I went to like a grad school program where we had to learn physics. And I took a lot of physics in regular college. And so when I went to this one, the teacher, I do not know why, but she had to be the one to teach physics, but she had never taken nor taught physics in her life. So she was learning. I had to teach her and the entire class physics for like the first two classes. I didn't get my check for that either. Last but not least, writing out this list. Don't write out jokes about your life if you don't want to have like a bad day, because like some of those in the beginning, I was like, damn, like high school kind of sucked, college kind of sucked. But if you know anything about me and you know anything about the Somebody Society, those stories right there are why I started the Somebody Society, for people trying to figure out who they are, who they want to be, all that stuff. So if anything, use this as a reminder that crazy stuff can happen to you in your life. You just kind of have to blow it off. And yeah, it will really suck in the time, but you just got to make the best of it and you got to grow. And things like that happen to everybody. So if you have a story like that, let me know in the comments because we can feel bad about it together. I think that would be like a great little rot club. We can like rot and read and like talk about past trauma. I think that would be really fun for like another Somebody Society event. Let me know. Thank you for listening to my jokes. Hopefully they were funny enough for you to be entertaining for what, like 10 minutes. Shout out to Boss Molly for being the unofficial drink of this episode. If you guys want a drink recipe, I will definitely write that up for you. I'm kind of upset that it didn't have a little garnish, but I had to put my little like purple glass together. So we're going to work on garnishes. But blackberry, bourbon, basil, bourbon, lemon. I'll have to think of it. It's blackberry bourbon. I know that much. And then I put some lemon juice in there. I have it written down. I'll have to go look. But all right. Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. And see you next time. Bye. Friendly reminder that this is Sipping with Somebody, not anything else. So please drink responsibly.